a retired racing, $6 million retired racing horse, and the company is Amco. You can make up the name if you need to, if you want to use the little director there that used to play the shrink on MASH. And you've got about 3 minutes to write. Do not stop. Don't pick up your pen. You got to keep writing all the way through. Don't take it off the page for the next 3 minutes. Write your lead and whatever other paragraphs you get time to write. No writing on. No staring at the blank page here. The company is the company that owns the horse and was sponsoring the big disco magic nonsense. Well, I don't know if that's 3 minutes, but it's long enough. You're ready to jump jerk with your deadline. Let's do that. Somebody read me your lead. Any volunteers? I'll start pointing. Read me your lead.
Sunday Steele sold the whole show Monday night.
Another lead. Yes.
Two legends, Sunny Steele, and Rising Star rode off into the sunset Sunday evening.
It was dark, but I'll buy it. Another lead.
Chronic legend tracks out of town.
There you go.
I've got Lit like the Vegas skyline, glorious by Sunny Steele, sunshine.
Your lead.
An aging rodeo rider decorated like a Christmas tree. In the spotlight on Anto's merger announcement.
Okay, your lead.
Sunny Steele had a neon meltdown at an AMCO conference, trotting out his horse in the midst of dancing construction workers, throwing the company's presentation into disarray before disappearing without a trace. He needs a little editing.
That's the second part of the workshop. Somebody else, yours.
Led an event announcing the merger of two Quad-Cities companies, the horse decked out with Christmas lights stole the show.
Okay, yours.
Sunday Steele nearly outshone the bright lights of the Vegas Strip. The Rising Star would have set Steele ruined the evening.
How about yours?
Sunday Steele rode through the crowd, or through the stage, through the crowd and out of town, lit up like a Christmas tree.
Okay, anybody else want to share a lead? Did you notice? None of the leads were awful. You know, some of them were better than others, but despite not staring at that blank screen, you were all able to write competent leads. Any one of those leads would have worked. And somebody noted that it needed a little work, and we're going to get to that. The point is, get the lead down, and you're going to have more. If you don't, the time that it takes to write is spent more productive in rewriting than in struggling and staring at the blank screen and that sort of thing that a lot of us do. I'm going to play a little name that's in here. Hang on. And I'm serious about that. First person to recognize this song, please speak up with what it is.
In 12 sentences.
Sounds of silence.
Pretty good.
There you go. Very good.
Oops, hang on. Yep. It's not going here.
Newspaper guy can't hand write. Anyway.
Yeah. Here.
Crazy.
There you go, crazy. See, we recognize that song before you even heard the first word of it because it's a classic. Do you know what the original title of this song was? When Willie Nelson got Willie Nelson theme going today. When Willie Nelson first wrote this song, do you know what was the original title? The original theme? Stupid. Serious. That was when he wrote the song. It was stupid. Stupid for loving you. Now, Patsy Cline's got a great voice. Had a great voice. She could have made a hit song out of stupid, I think. But because of the rewriting that Willie Nelson made in writing that song, he wasn't satisfied with a hit song. He knew he had the potential for a classic. And in the rewriting, he made that hit song a classic. And you need to take the same approach on your leads. Even if you've got a good lead, you want to be demanding of it in the rewriting to see if you can make your hit lead into a classic, okay? Let's see if I can figure out how to turn it up. And now we're going to do some rewriting on some of your work. And I apologize in advance for anybody whose leads I put up here, but you're going to have company because I've got several of them. And can everybody see that? Can you everybody see that? What do you move this a little?
Yeah.
Is it better with this one off too? Yes.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some leads that have appeared recently in the Dispatch and the Argus. And we're going to talk a little about how to improve them. Hopefully you're going to come up with some, I'm going to show you what I consider to be some improved versions. Hopefully you'll come up with some improvements that escape my attention. But we're also going to talk about how we then achieve that. And these will be techniques that you can use in working on any lead that you write, because we want to spend the rest of the workshop talking about rewriting. Once you've rewritten that lead, what are some things that we can do to be more demanding of that lead and to make it stronger? It's more sensitive than my one at home. Okay. All right. Well, for some reason, both of those come up at once. Okay. We start out with 27 words. We're cutting down to 25 in this one. It's supposed to work on this, the first one in a while, but we'll do that on the next screen. How we do this is we're going to a stronger verb. Instead of contract out, which is kind of jargonish, and we've got some redundancy here. Contract out to an outside firm, well, who else are you going to contract out to? We're going to use hire instead of that. And we've got some vagueness here. What was the... Some, yeah, okay. We've got some. It's kind of vague. Well, you know, if you don't know how many, you know, you can deal with that in the second one. So we haven't tightened this one very much, but you can see just by little things, hire instead of contract out, nibble a word here, you can strengthen it. You can also take an alternative approach, and this to me is one of the important techniques of rewriting, is you can fine-tune and tinker with and find the stronger verb and the ways to improve the lead that you've got, or you can find a different approach. And I do it especially with a lead that I'm not pleased with. I do it especially with a lead that's long, but I'll even do it with a lead that I love, because I want to go from the hit lead to the classic lead. I want to go from stupid to crazy. And so sometimes I'll take an alternative approach. Now sometimes I take the alternative approach and it's not. The alternative approach is stupid. I already wrote crazy. Well, maybe it wasn't classic. But I wrote something that was better. But the alternative approach helps you gain confidence in the lead that you have. Maybe I've got too many words in this lead, and I'm trying to write a tighter lead, and I write a tighter lead, but it just doesn't tell what this story is about sufficiently. I'm always trying to write a shorter lead, and usually you can write a shorter lead, but taking the alternative approach sometimes doesn't do it. So instead of, we started out with the reference to over the objection of the entire inspections department. And now we're going to put the action first and emphasize the conflict and the unanimity on both sides. See, I'm going to the story element here. We had a more cumbersome, over the objections, puts the conflict in there, but we've got unanimous versus unanimous. It's strengthened, and it's down to 21 words, and we've got stronger, we've got overruled, we've got hiring, we've got review, we've got getting stronger verbs here, and we've cut it down from 27 words to 21 words. Yes?
Didn't you kind of put your audience to sleep, though, by reading like the city council, blah, 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 blah? You know what I mean? If they're reading that, I just think that they're not even going to want to read it.
Well, that's
I mean, about city council stories, I mean, I don't think the average Joe wants to read about them, so I kind of sneak it in there, like, you're not going to read about city council. Oh, no.
That's a valid, but as the inspections department, one of the challenges you have in writing about government, and which maybe is a good reason to do a third alternative approach and see how is this going to affect the reader. Neither one of these stories very closely tells the reader how is this going to affect me. But you do have stronger verbs and a tighter lead. We got a 33-word lead here. And I think and I don't generally count the words in my leads. I'm doing them in this workshop to show how much you can tighten. But anytime I read it, how many of you here read your stories out loud? Or at least leads. Read out loud. Read them out loud. It helps you discover the voice of the story, but in long leads like this, it also helps you know that it's too long. So you have to pause for breath while you're reading that lead. And if you can read the whole story, now, how many of you don't read your lead because you don't want everybody in the newsroom to think, okay, she's gone around the bend, now she's talking. Any reporter doesn't look crazy if you're talking into a phone. So you can just be talking to a dial tone or your voice. give me a call, or whatever. But if you can read your lead out loud or your whole story out loud, you're going to find that 33-word sentence, especially 33-word lead, it's just too cumbersome. You've got to cut that down. What are some ways we can cut this down? What are some things we can do to strengthen this lead?
Personalize it.
What's that?
Personalize it.
How?
I mean, there's just a lot of dreck in there.
A lot of extra words.
What?
There's a lot of extra words. It's not share the lead, it's really share control of the lead.
Yeah, there's, you've got 2 words there that can just come out right away.
Take the scores out and put them in the second paragraph.
Right, we've got kind of a suitcase here where we're trying to put everything in this lead.
Maybe they're different guys and their time.
Yeah,
Final round.
yeah.
Yeah.
26 words. Share the lead, final round, put the scores in the second paragraph.
I think I'd even take out the towns on that.
What's that?
I think I'd take out the towns and put it in the second paragraph.
Yeah, you can do that.
Let's clone it down that way.
Well, okay, we've got a disagreement here. This shows why these things aren't automatic. Somebody here disagrees with one of the towns. If you're from, well, you don't have readers from Keokuk or Owatonna, do you? So maybe you're right here. If you've got, so-and-so of Rock Island, so-and-so of Moline, that's going to tell them, oh, that's the Patrick Hall that I know. Because there's probably more than one Patrick Hall in town. But that might be the Patrick Hall that I know. But that's a good point. If they're not local or the town's that important for the lead, we could cut that down to.
Plus, I think if you put the town, sometimes you kind of turn the reader off right away. You say, well, I don't care. He's from Keokuk, I don't care.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, well, you talked about the city council. Now we've got a school budget. There's a challenge for the readers. What can we do here?
Eliminate more.
What's that?
What do you have, more than 150? More than 1.5 million more than it will bring in?
Just say that it'd be in the red.
Could be in the red.
In the red? You guys did better than I did here. I had the more Vans in there. We've got some redundancies. It'll spend this, according to the district's tentative budget, plans to spend. You can say, the budget is, you don't need to explain all that. How much they're going to spend implies that it's the budget. But somebody had a good suggestion, we'll be in the red more than $1.5 million. That would be better, and it was going to save us some more words.
Our face is a $1.5 million budget shortfall.
Yeah, right.
The shortfall's kind of,
I think if you say red, it's kind of.
What?
If you say red, I think that's kind of jargon too,
Yeah, it is.
Even though we
It's tough to do budget stories without jargon, but those are the,
No, I know.
those are questions you got to ask as you're doing this, and find out what's the best way to do it. All these are good questions to be asking as you're examining this lead. We've got another budget here. It's budget time. What are we going to do with this one?
Budget deficit is nice.
Eliminate on paper.
What?
Yeah.
Eliminate on paper.
On paper, yeah. Where else would a budget be?
Unless the turn was that they, well, we're going to be in deficit, but not really.
Well, it was kind of a bogus explanation. It was a.
We're not really going to be in the red.
It was. I think it was. We've got this cash reserve, so we're not going to be running out of money. Well, you are going to be running a deficit.
Correct.
It's not just on paper. You're going to,
But your next graph would say that.
Yeah, you can do that.
Isn't the illegal use of verb there? You don't have to plan it.
Throw the flag.
You can have something, but you may not plan it.
if it's in your budget, your budget is a plan. Will, yeah.